All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Hurley Investments Trade Finding and Adjustments for Friday morning, the 2nd of October. We're already about 8 to 10 minutes in. I was late on pushing the recording today. To do a quick 2-minute recap for those of us that are still here, or that are here, 15 of us now. We just had Abraham that jumped in. We're just sharing some thoughts. And our first thoughts that came up was Trump tested positive early this morning for the COVID-19. The futures dropped immediately. 450 or down as much as 559. I thought I saw overnight. It's a typical overreaction to uncertainty or news that's come out in our market. Why don't markets like uncertainty? Why don't markets like the opportunity for things to go on sale? It's because we really moved to the worst case scenario. We moved to, hey, Trump is dead already. Well, no, he just tested positive for COVID. It's a death sentence. He's going to die. No, he doesn't even have any symptoms yet. Well, his wife has it too, and it's a conspiracy to kill off the White House. No, it's a communicable virus that we have just like the flu. It's a typical market overreaction. I'm going to talk about it here in a second, but where I'm going to relate this is so many people have asked why we haven't cashed in protection over September. It's profitable. We need to take that profit. And my comment was, how many of you would feel comfortable without that protection on a day like today? At Hurley Investments, we're doing the best we can, and by no means are we perfect. If anyone think I'm perfect, that I catch tops of tops and bottoms of bottoms, you have been sorely misled, and I will talk to Keeve about that. um, but we try to protect during the most probable times of uncertainty or an expected drop in the stock market. Now, there are times that we don't need it. And I know Lee Maxwell pretty well, and I know that he's out in California. And my comment was, with all the fires and that he's been evacuated twice, I must say, I'm sure he's grateful he has homeowners insurance. Now, your homeowners insurance, much like the protection, the long put protection we place on our stock ownership, is not for the little things. It's really for a catastrophic event. It's for a black swan event. It's for the most probable times when you can lose 25% or more of the value of a stock. Just like homeowners insurance, you don't really use it if a tree gets burned down, if a fence gets burned down, if you lose your lawn, right? You use homeowners insurance if 10% of your house gets burned up, or 25 or 35, or half of it gets burned up. Then you use your homeowners insurance to make it mostly right. You got to pay the premium, you usually have to pay a deductible, and off you go. That's exactly what we're trying to do with using that long put as acting as insurance on stock ownership. I made the comment, how many of you would feel great today without protection? I wouldn't. For that reason, as tempting as it's been to cash in all of our Apple protection, or Disney because it's down to 120, or Visa that we really haven't needed, Under Armour we really haven't needed, Facebook that we did cash in, Boeing that we did cash in, but we're playing for the higher probability of the upside with their planes. All these things that we're doing are our best educated guess with the information we have today, not tomorrow, not next week, on looking at chart patterns, at reading a ton of information to do the best that we can to truly understand what's happening in our market and to make up whatever portion we can of the downward movement. That's it. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're trying to caption anything to the downside, because anything we make up to the downside is more money when things come back. As I was looking about today, the president doesn't have any, he doesn't have any symptoms. Neither does the first lady, at least that's been reported. Neither does this, the Hope Girl. Doesn't mean it might not develop into symptoms in the next 12 to 14 days, or 2 to 14 days, excuse me. But right now, the markets are tumbling. With that said, we've had a pretty good rebound. In fact, we've had an amazing rebound, I believe. Let me see if I can't get this up and take a peek at it. Get signed in here. I'm not signed in. Come on, get signed in. I'm trying, I'll have you guys see this in just a second. I made the comment that usually the first day, we're not going to make up everything on the downward movement. We just don't. But it was really good to see that the market that started off down, 1.5% has recovered. We're down about half. We're probably not going to make up the downward movement today, but at 1.5%, we were in really good shape. When the market was down 1.5%, we were only down like 0.88. So we're making up 0.7%. I get this question all the time. How did you know? Guess what? I did not know. But for all the poor fetchers when Boeing was down, boy, 6% today. It was $6. It actually went down as low as 61.80, so it's a little bit more than that. People are throwing on protection right as the market opened. Well, Kevin, why don't you? Why don't you react first thing when the market opens? Well, because the first 15 to 20 minutes, what happens when the market opens for the first 15 to 20 minutes? Someone please tell me, every single day, the first 15 to 20 minutes, what happens in our markets? Wow, really? So my England nailed it. E-minis, the futures clear out. They have to zero out their E-mini books. So the first 15 to 20 minutes of every single day, whatever's happened overnight has to come off of their books. All those people that rushed and paid for protection on Boeing got their butts handed to them this morning. There are times when you're going to say, I missed it. I need to wait. I'm not getting there like I need to. I need to wait. Even though it's going down, you might pay so much more in volatility or extra premium that sometimes it's not worth the protection. If you're going to pay 19% of the value of the stock, you need to find a different way to protect it because the insurance won't do it. You need to sell a call deep in the money. Everyone that got into Boeing lost their butts by panicking and buying insurance. So that's where I look really good. Apple, I don't look so good today. Apple's our major loss actually for the day. You took some protection off yesterday. Yes, I stood by where we were at. I took some protection off. But even on Apple, and it might change by the end of the day, even with Apple, people that jumped in this morning at $112.22 are upside down a couple dollars. Now, you know what the neat thing is? You have two choices. You have two choices. In life, you have two choices when it comes to money management. What are they? What are the two choices you comes to when you have money management? Yes, but no. Mutual funds and options. You actually, if you're going to break it down to that finite, you have a lot more options than that. Currency, Forex, stocks, ETFs, indexes, mutual funds. Comes to money management. I'm looking for something different. What are your two choices? Hey, what did Abraham just say? Land in Mars. There we go. Bingo, Mary. Passive or active management. So let me tell you the difference. Passive. Ignore phone calls. Talk once a quarter or more likely yearly. Send a Christmas card. And in times of trouble, what do? Relax and be patient. It will come back. Even though it might take 12 years. That's it. Diversification protects you. Stay in the game. I've got a better investment than what I just recommended to you 6 months ago. That's it. That's what your choices are on that end. You have active. Trying to make up a portion of the downward movement. Now that's done in a bunch of different ways. Some people do it through market timing. Some people use technical indicators. Some people sell and buy. That's really a tax burden. I don't like that. Some people try to do arbitrage, commodities versus equities, gold and silver versus equities, futures versus equities. There's always a hedge. There's a hedge in there somewhere. And you can see hedging in passive as well. But here's the common sense side of things. We learned that diversification didn't work worth a damn in 2008, 2000, 96, 93, 90, 87, 83. I can throw a ton of time periods where diversification didn't do a damn thing. Thought process, diversification for me equals churning. We had this diversified fund, but now I've got a better one for you. I've got one that's even better. And the problem is, what's even better will pay me another commission. I've got a better one for you now. And every 6 months to 2 years, you get churned into the next best idea. And that bothers me. That bothered me to the point where I stopped working for JP Turner, an offshoot of JP Morgan, and said I can't do that to people. I love what Buffett said, you diversify when you're too stupid to do anything else. Paraphrased, I'm sorry. But you diversify when you're too stupid to do the hard work yourself. What is a typical day? Because this moves both ways. I just spoke to Maud recently. Some people, even when they put hedges on or what have you, think that their day is done. Oh, I got a day off. It's an up day in the stock market, which is true. A typical up day in the stock market is a day off. But a typical day for me, up at 5:30. Six to 7:30, reading or searching for information. It can be on the futures the night before. I do have to sleep sometimes, but I'm trying to understand what's moving our markets. $7:30 to 8:30. Always in front of the computer. It's where you're going to watch and see the open, where you want to see the reversal. And then for me, 8:30 to 10:30 is work related. And it can be anywhere from doing more reading to researching to calculating numbers to looking at funds to looking at new opportunities to calculating valuations. I'm always spending my time working from this time period. 10:30 to 11:30, this is Mountain Standard Time, East Coast lunch break, where the markets go down. And in all honesty, what I'm doing during this time is that's when I usually will eat breakfast. I will usually eat breakfast between 10:30 and 11:30 because you know the market's going to go down. It's a probability that's 99% probable. It'll go down, it'll come back. My best answer is the East Coast goes to lunch. Some people say that kind of coincides with Europe opening and closing, and yeah, but the East Coast goes to lunch. There's much more finance done on the East Coast than the West Coast. Just the way it is. Noon until 1 p.m. is work related. And then from 1 through 2 p.m. market closes and I am in front of a computer. Two to 3. I am checking individual accounts, which right now I've got roughly 100, right? To check to see if any are out of whack. If I've got a leeway, 0.5% one way or the other. If something's out of whack, I need to reevaluate. If more than 0.5% off the S&P, I need to reevaluate. And in all honesty, by 3 o'clock, I'm done. 5:30 to 3 o'clock, I've got 3 hours. 5:30 to noon, I've got 6.5 hours. It is a 9.5 hour workday. But, bye, I like that. But, twice a week, Monday and Tuesday, I do a webinar to give you guys the opportunity to touch base with me in regards to your accounts. Which is interesting because when it comes down to it, that is about an hour prep time for each one. Monday's 45 minutes, Tuesday's a half hour. Hour and that's 3.25 hours, 45 minutes to get uploaded. It's an extra 4.5 hours there and another couple hours for Thursday. But Thursday, I get to work that into my my day. So when it all comes up, 9.5 hours times 5 plus an extra 4.5 hours. A typical work week is equal to 40.42. No, that's not correct. 5 times 9 is 45. So it's a 47.5 hour work week plus another 4.5 hours. I'm usually working, plain and simple, 52 hours a week. Now, the good news is that's what I would expect. Thank you, Abraham. Yes, I've been typing this whole time and I didn't open it up. That's been on my side. You guys should now be able to see it again. Thank you very much, guys. That is what I would expect someone to do when you're working with people's retirement, when you're working with people's life savings. It's not an 8 to 5 job. And the worst part about it, some people in my industry, when I think that it's a 52-hour work week, some people in my industry probably don't do any actual work more than 2 hours a week. I'm giving you guys a chance to read through that as I had the screen paused. I do apologize. That's why when I tape these, I put all the information in there so you can see it. Even if I do pause the screen, as you listen to a recording, you'll see the information there. And as I'm talking about it, you can follow along. But that's my work week. Notice what's not in that work week. Notice there is no advertising. No marketing. No after-hour calls. No dinners. No travel. In some way, shape, or form, all those things still have to work their way into this type of work week. In my opinion, this is what a typical day should be. If you have everything that people have worked for their whole lives, this is the type of effort that I would expect and that I would want someone to be doing with my money. I wasn't going to record this because I'm going to make a couple comments here that that some people don't want to hear. Because I'm willing to put this amount of effort in, I was willing to drop lamps. Some personalities don't mix. Some people don't have a thick enough skin that this is going to work for them. Some people that have paid for an education and don't spend the time doing it, but expect me to be their education all the time, it grates on me. And the last thing I want to hear is a constant criticizing of what I do. it was funny because I've already had a talk with Lance yesterday about what can we do to make things better, make things right. And I try to treat everyone with respect. I expect that same respect back. And I told Lance that there's nothing we're going to do this year. We'll talk about it next year. And man, did that piss him off. To where it was easy and to say, you know what, Lance, it's just not going to work. And it's okay. Good luck. You took the education. Go start to go through it now. Go start to find a way to do this yourself. Go start and catch up with the 20 years of experience I have. Go get that 20 years yourself and you'll be ready to go. I'm saying it this way because I go back to the debate. And man, as I saw the debate between Trump and Biden, whoever thinks there was a winner there, I really need to scratch my head. But of course, both sides have their winners, right? Oh, Trump did this. Trump was interrupted 75 times to Biden's 5 by Wallace. Yeah, but 40 of those is because Trump was interrupting Biden. I mean, that debate was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. That is 2 hours of my life that I can't get back, that I'm wasting more time reviewing how retarded it was. So I got sidetracked. The short answer is, boy, I totally got sidetracked there. I just forgot where my point I was going with all this was. You need to spend your time wisely. The one thing we don't control in our life is how much time we have. So spend it wisely. I am so appreciative of having Key right now, and I'm excited to get Jeffrey on board. Because by having them available, I can take some of this off my plate and let them loosen up my workload. In all reality, we all should be doing this at the same time. But now we might have a true East Coast lunch break where one person's from the computer and the other two of us can go out to eat instead of getting a sandwich and coming sitting back at your computer, or getting a sandwich and being on your phone while you're at Jersey Mike's for a sub or what have you. I'm appreciative of the people that I have that work with me. And I'm just as appreciative of the people that I have that are my clientele. I consider all of you friends in some way, shape, or form. I get plenty of parental advice from you. I hear your experiences with kids where things have gone well and have gone wrong. I have tried to make this as personalized as I can be so that you're not a client ever. Part of why I do my webinars and take my times on Monday and Tuesday nights and take that away from the family, so to speak, is because you guys are working and you should have a time to be able to say, hey, what's my money doing? And can I ask a question without having it to interrupt your schedule or your day? So that's what I do. I brought all this out because, in all honesty, none of this is easy. If anyone ever thinks the stock market is easy, that is your first and only red flag you need to go, uh-oh, this does not make sense. It's not easy. but the more effort you put into it, the better your results are going to be over time. And it's a building process. Guys, are there any questions you would like to ask me today? I kind of got off tangent. I was going to use a couple other examples, and this turned into more of an example of the two choices you guys have to what kind of money management you deserve or that you want. But any questions you guys have? And yet, you know what? Thank you, William. Kevin, I decided to go with you because I saw the effort you gave me in my first week of not even being a client, but I'm not trying to make you clients, was more than I received the whole 35 years prior in my life. William, excellent compliment. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. But imagine, how much time did we spend, William? I mean, you were overseas, right? And yes, I've got my $5 more calling a cell phone overseas so I don't get charged up the yin yang. So we probably did what? We did initial webinar, hour and a half. You called me twice, another half hour, so that's 2.5 hours. Went through a portfolio review for 2 hours, so it was 4.5 hours. Went over the forms, the paperwork, another hour and a half, 6 hours. So what we spent 7.5, maybe 8 hours total. And for William, apparently that 8 hours our first week was more time than he had spent with him in the previous 35 years. And William, again, I hold that as a compliment. Thank you. And it should never have been that way. There's no way people should be going through a 2010, a 2008, a 2000, a 96, a 93, a 90, an 87, an 83, those big crashes in the market. You guys should never have to go sit through looking at it. Looking at it by yourself. That's just not what we do. It's not what you do. And again, I went through it once, and there's more. There's just more that needs to be done. But William, again, thank you for the compliment. Jim, got it. I'll be on that probably right after, if that's okay. Are there any other questions I can answer for you? Love it. So let me put my last line. I have to find other times to do all of the above. And I do. I mean, obviously, I hope you guys feel that I've always answered your calls after hours. I do dinners with you guys when I can. I travel when I can. Right now, Utah is really spiking, comparatively speaking. The numbers are low, but for the state, they're ridiculously high. It's wow. It's to the point now, at least the fact that it's in our neighborhood. We went from 3 families we're probably about 4 or 5 square blocks out here would be our neighborhood. Maybe 4, maybe it's a little more, 3 to 4. We had 3 that we knew of until 2 weeks ago, and we're now up to 11. So it's a pretty good spike in our state right now on COVID cases. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. I'll get this posted. I appreciate you for letting me change my mind here on how I was going to do this. Take care, be safe, and I'll talk to you again on Monday. Goodbye, everyone.